Teri here, and like I said, I'm coming in to do some crocheting. I'm trying to finish the 6-day Superstar blanket, which is like 14 points on it. I'm on day 5. She's been done with this for a week or two. Day 5 of the 6th day. And so when I get the single crochet all around this, this is the back side, so when I get the single crochet all around this one, then I can start the repeat one more time, and then it will be done. So, and it's going to be done when I run out, because this is my last ball of this. I'm using Mandala Ombre, called Balance is the colorway, and it is number 4 weight, an Aran weight or worsted weight, and I'm using an H hook. So because Friday there is another mystery crochet along starting, and I went down and bought the yarn. I went through my stash first. So before I start talking, just sit back and relax. If you got a craft or something or whatever, join me and everything as I crochet a little bit. But I went through, it's called Sea and Stone, and I've done 2 of her mandala type style, and I really like it, but I didn't want to have 2 of these on the go at the same time. And the only way that I can work on this is because it's been warm enough that our air keeps coming on, and I'm just so tired. I don't feel like I've been doing much, and Jerry reminds me that I've done a lot. So over the weekend, 4th of July weekend, I hope you all had a safe and happy 4th of July weekend. It was just Jerry and I, nothing special. Didn't even hear from our kids, which isn't unusual. And so it was just him and I. So there was on, let's see, on Friday? Yeah, because the 4th was Saturday. Nope. On Saturday, the Mystery Salt Quilt Along started, and it was based off from the 250th anniversary. And I had talked about this in previous videos. I don't have much patriotic enough for, I did the 75-inch by 75-inch quilt, and so when I went down to our local quilt shop, she had blues, and of course she had whites, but all her reds were more like a pink or an orange. She didn't really have a true red, and she really didn't have a big selection. But you know, everybody's sewing patriotic stuff, so, and I really didn't want to run up to Grand Rapids or any place like that. So instead I chose different colors because I still wanted to sew along, and I had posted the colors of the picture, or pictures of the colors, and everybody liked the colors and stuff like that. So anyways, Saturday, it started at 8 a.m., which would have been 9 o'clock my time, and there were 8 clues. Of course, I didn't start it until almost noon, but they were big pieces. I mean, you're talking 8-inch pieces up to 15.5-inch pieces. So I could easily sew those and get those caught up to where she was releasing the clues, because it got big enough that it wouldn't even fit on my design wall. So I got everything sewed together except for the borders. And I had worked on that, oh, well into almost supper time, and we eat supper usually anywhere from 6 to 6:30 to 7. So, and I needed to take a break. And the borders, there was 2 colors, and the inner border was 8.5 inches, and then the outer border was 4.5 inches, and then there was in the 4 corners squares that were on the inner one that matched the dimensions of the 8.5, and then on the outside the 4.5. And so she had put in there to sew all the there was like 6 pieces, I think, of the first one, of the inner border, because there's less material. She told you to sew all 6 of them together, and then she told you to cut them out into 60.5-inch strips. And then the second one had 7 pieces that you sewed all together, and then cut that into 4. Each one was 4. And that one was 68.25 inches. Well, I had cut them out, but I didn't sew them out because I tend to either be way off from what their measurements are, or it just doesn't work out. So I sewed the inner pieces together. Well, I sewed 2 of them, and I went and I put the 2 sides on, and then you were to take the top and the bottom strip and then sew a square and a square and sew that on. Well, of course I was short, and so what I had to do was, because those squares have to match up with your seams and everything, so I had to then take the time to go sew all the pieces together and then lay them out. And I don't have, I have a cutting mat that goes up to 36 inches, so I would have to lay it out and put a ruler right where that halfway mark would be, and fold the fabric over, and then bring it down and then fold, so I can just, use my shears and cut it. And so I did all that. There was only one piece that I was an inch short, and I had to sew on an inch. And I was like, but in the grand scheme of things, it'll be okay. So I worked on that. I did get the border on and everything, and it turned out really cute. And so it's nice, bright, cheery, and everything. And it ended up being it was 75 inches wide by, no, it was 75.25 inches wide by 75 inches lengthwise. And for me, that is pretty darn good. That's really good. So I got that done, and of course Sunday I just sat there and my body was saying, you sewed. So didn't do too much Sunday. We did get a lot of rain. What is today? Tuesday, Monday. But when I was out in the garden, it looked dry as a bone. So we're going to have to water again, because we're not supposed to get rain until Thursday. So, but then yesterday I made our bread, and I'm just trying to think what I did. I think yesterday I worked on this. I made myself set, and then I get up and do, some household chores and stuff like that. And I just crocheted around this. And then when I saw that crochet along was for Friday, I went through my stash and I pulled out, because I tried to match her colors, and she's a designer from Africa, and she loves using cotton, and I always use worsted weight because I like crocheting big heavy blankets, because in Michigan they're really nice. So she always posted pictures of the colors, and so I needed 10 skeins, and I only had 4, and it was 2 colors, because I only needed 2 of each of the colors. So we went down to our craft store and looked at all the red heart and stuff, and it was, what I was needing yet was a darker blue, because it's blues. It goes from a dark, medium, light blue, and then it goes, there is like browns, and it's like a dark, medium, and light brown, and then it's like a cream color, white, and then it is grays. There was 2, and it was a dark gray and a light gray. And they actually did have everything, and I had wrote down the names of what I had, so if they had it there we can pull it out. Well, they had the medium blue there, but they did not have the light blue, and so we were kind of guessing off from, well, it looks good with the medium blue. And I did look it up online with my phone, but so we got that and came home, and I made sure I went and I marked all of the skeins, because because it will be A through I, and then she'll just tell you with color A or color E or whatever. And I always just match it up to what the ball band says for the hook size. So I don't know how long it's going to be, but it will come out every Friday. So do I have other things that need to be done, like my English paper piecing? Yes. Like socks? Yes. It just makes me happy though. So I'm just, my English paper piecing is going to get pushed back a little bit, because I really want to get this done, and that way it's one less thing. And as far as my socks go, I did get Mr. Jerry's sock a little bit further down right here, so. And the other Christmas sock, I got the heel flap and heel turn done, and the gusset stitches, I'm starting to, they're all picked up, so I'm, doing the decreases. I did get on my English paper piecing there's a total of 12 strips you have to do, 6 for one round and 6 for the next round. And the first round, I got 2 of the strips done, and I need to do 4 more. And my thought process is that I will do those 4 others, and then I will sew them or attach them to the main quilt body, and then I will go and do the other 6 and do the same thing. But this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 furthest I've ever done on an English paper piecing quilt top. And it's like anything, crocheting, knitting, anything, when you're first starting out, it goes super fast and you can keep up, but now it's gotten so big, the center of it, that it takes, there's more pieces and it takes time. So but yeah, as long as the air is on today, I will continue to work and see how far I can get with this blanket here, and then go from there. So, but anyways, I think I'm going to let you guys go. The garden tour one, unless I don't post that. I might not post that. I did look at it. My peas, oh, maybe I'll just, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll put the garden one after this. So if you don't want to listen or walk through the garden with me, you don't have to. So, because that one's about 15 minutes long, and there is a pepper in there that I show you that has a yellow top on it, and it is basically sun scald. So it will still be okay. When I looked it up, it just said that, you know, it's something that you can cut off, and the rest of it should be okay. But Jerry is out feeding the birds, and he's got some things that he does for certain plants outside each month. This month is the hostas, and so he's going to tend to what that has to be done. He said he would go and tie up the potatoes, because when we had those big storms, it just blew them all down. And they're heavy enough, if you try to pick them back up, you could break the stalk, and you don't want to do that. So, but once he gets the wooden stakes put in around it, he usually secures it to the flower or the vegetable bed, the garden bed, and then he'll get his, we have some heavy nylon string rope out there, and he'll just, you know, tie it around the post under the plant to help support them. So, and other than that, my friends, we haven't done too much. It's just been nice, quiet, relaxing days. We do have a tree that needs to be cut down, and the tree guy came this morning. He won't be able to get to it until next month, because that's how far behind he is because of all the storms. And it will cost us about $500 to for them to, they have to climb up it. They can't use the bucket trucks. There's no way of getting it in there to do the tree, and because it's completely dead. Then our neighbors have been complaining about our 60-foot cottonwood tree, that they are a messy tree and allergies and stuff, but he looked at it and he says it's a healthy tree. There's nothing wrong with it. But if we decide we want it cut down, it would cost $3,800. Well, if it's a healthy tree, it's going to stay. I'm not going to cut a tree down because the neighbors don't like it. And there's no way that the neighbors are going to pay half. And I really not for sure I want to pay half to cut down a healthy tree. So, so that will be done next month. We are going to do a front porch. We have a front deck, and now we're just going to extend it out and put a gable roof, which is that peak. And it's going to end up being, I think he told me, 12 by 14. And so the contractor and the materials and everything came in probably $3,000 less than what I figured, and probably $2,000 more than he was hoping, but it was close enough. And it's the same contractor and lumber company that did our sunroom. So it's one of those that he can do it this fall sometime. He's got to just work us in between jobs. And so we don't know when that is, but the lumber company needs at least 5 weeks to order stuff. and Jerry just might have them go ahead with the order, and when it's here, it's here. That's what we did with the sunroom. Cover it up outside with a tarp, and when the contractor can get here and do it, he will. It should only take him, he's got a crew of 3, shouldn't take him very long at all. So the sunroom only took him 2 weeks to do that, and that was fully enclosing it and wrapping it and rough. And I mean, Jerry did the inside of it and the electrical and stuff, but yeah, it didn't take him long at all. So busy times for us right now, but you know, that's what we worked all of our lives for, is to be able to do stuff like that, and to be able to save and have a retirement fund for us that, you know, is doing well. We're not rich by any means, trust me, we're not. It's just that right now it just seems like this is what we've been able to do, because next year we will do our roof needs to be replaced, and the guy who gave us the original quote came out and he just said it would only be maybe $1,000 more, which would be like $15,000. So that will be done next year. And then I don't foresee anything else that needs to be done to this place, because we then would have replaced about everything. So, but anyways, thanks for stopping by, my friends. I hope that you are doing well whatever day that you see this, and I hope that your crafts are just going well for you and keeping you nice and calm and collected. And if you got a garden that's going well for you, and because pretty soon if you do a fall garden, you can start thinking about planting those cooler weather stuff. So that's what I'm hoping to do, but we'll see. So until we can meet up again, see you soon, my friends. Hey friends, so I come out to check the garden. This is my orange pepper plants. We've had lots of rain. Not too happy right here. Something's been gnawing on it. So I'm going to have to figure that out, or I won't get peppers. This one's looking really good too. He's right back here. Just waiting for him to turn orange, but look at all the flowers. More to come. Our everberries. We never seem to get any this year because, oh, I see something down there. There might be one down there. Because we have chipmunks. So this right here is the beets. This is the cucumbers, the Space Master cucumbers in here. I'm not doing a very good job, sorry guys. But they just took a beating from all this heat. All the heat and all the rain. Cherry squash. I'd like to trellis it up, but it's not doing what it did last year. Oh, the tomatoes are looking good. Surprisingly, the cabbages are looking good. Looks like there is a couple of strawberries there. So the garlic, I'm just waiting. They say from down here, when you get to like 3 stalks that have died back, they're ready to be pulled. But see right here, Jerry's got to help me. All the wind came in and pushed all the potato plants down here and in the back. My snap peas are getting little buds. Oh my goodness, it's just a jungle in here. So this right here is my bush beans, and we're starting to get flowers on them. I come out to check the peas, but they're not ready yet. But look at them. There's a lot in here. The garden has come alive. And then this is what I was saying on the potatoes. They've just fallen over, and they're laying in on the celery, but they're flowering right now. And then I've got peas growing up over here. My pole beans are trying to pass them up. So, oh my goodness. So we got more squash plants back here. Looks like more peppers back there. There's a pepper right here. One's right in there. And I think that's probably got a little sun scald, or is trying, I don't know what. These are my red ones, so I'm not for sure. And I come over here to all the bush beans right here, and as you can tell, my pole beans are starting to go up, which they should go. So I got some peas in here. And then I got some peas coming up over here. And this was our volunteer potatoes. And I thought I saw some red in here. But normally Jerry does this. He will come out and put stakes up and then put string to help them. So, some more peas, but they're not quite ready. The pole beans are growing up the peas. I have to show you my parsnips. These are my parsnips. I've never grown them before. This is when the garden becomes a jungle. This is my snap peas. Yeah, my cauliflower is struggling. Which I kind of figured it might. It was so hot. Okay, my onions here. This one's getting pretty thick right here. This is my Romas. On the fence here I have peas, and then That's the tomato, but I also have pole beans that are climbing up too. I'm not seeing anything in here quite yet. Try to push my, and I can see a lot of weeds though. The onion's back. There's some yellow right in there. I got some right there. They're not quite ready, the strawberries. So the green beans have wrapped right around up here. These are my regular Ace 55 tomatoes. And I can't see any in there. You can see more peas. These are getting a little bit thicker than the others. But not quite ready. Oh my goodness, this thing has just exploded. Lots of yellows in there. I thought there was a tomato in here the other day, but this is just taken right off. Looks like I missed a sucker plant down here, so now it's went all the way out here, but it's got blooms on it, so I will let it be and try to clip it up a little bit better. I just like how green beans just wrap around and grab. So that sun is hot on the back of my neck. It's like 84 degrees. So anyways, that's kind of what my garden is looking like. I got shade cloth on this because they don't like above 80 degrees. So try to clip that back on. Yeah, I don't know if I'll get cauliflower or not. You can't see in there, but we had such a hard spring that I couldn't even get out here to plant these in the ground when they should have been. So that didn't help matters. I need to weed, because weeds always seem to grow. So, but anyways, I'm just so tickled that we're getting peas. Just so tickled. I bet you within a couple of days, because this is getting pretty plump right here. but my onions haven't fared very well. But yeah. Just trying to latch the gate. Hey friends, so yeah, there's the garden. This is when it tends to explode like it should. So, but anyways, I think I am going to let you go and go in and do a little bit of crocheting, and haven't felt like doing much today. Made our bread yesterday. Found a new recipe to try for the tortillas, so I need to make some later this week. And some biscuits, and I have a lot of bacon that needs to be cooked up in the oven. I need some help with that because the last time I did it, they didn't get very crispy. So I guess I need to know. I do it on a wire rack with foil underneath to catch the drippings on a cookie sheet, and I think I baked it at, I think it was only 400 degrees for about 18 minutes, and I think this time I'll bump it up to 4 1/4 and see how that works. But comment below and tell me if you've baked it in the oven. What's your temperature? What's your secrets if it comes out crispy?